speaking of, United Launch Alliance is close to completing certification for its Vulcan rocket, with the U.S. Space Force reviewing data from the October 2024 CERT-2 mission. The test faced a minor issue when a solid rocket booster's nozzle detached, which feels a lot more than minor, but we'll go with that. The mission still achieved its intended orbital objectives, though, which is always good. The Space Systems Command now comparing CERT-2 outcomes with model data to finalize certification. Sounds like the first national security mission, the USS F-106, featuring Navigation Technology Satellite 3, is going to follow certification alongside a classified payload. ULA itself is preparing for this and future missions, assembling hardware, utilizing the newly built RS SpaceShip for rocket transport, starting in 2026.
So are we just in like the year of the launch or the era of the launch? We had SpaceX, Blue Origin, ULA coming up. This is, ULA's first security mission on the horizon. And with all of these, basically the license to fly, I guess, is of utmost importance. You got to have that certification that lets you actually make all this happen, which means you got the analysis in the works. And the nozzle thing you mentioned, I think the nozzle popped off in one of the last tests, and then the solid rocket booster had to, I think the nozzle that broke away, and then the rocket had to compensate. You know what? The number of errors in this sentence is high. Let's try that again. The whole nozzle thing caused a bunch of complications because you had the nozzle of the solid rocket booster break away, and then the rocket had to compensate for those. I think that reduced thrust, they said, or they have recently said, it was only about a 2% difference. So maybe it was kind of minor, but that still is pretty big. And also cool how you can compensate for it when things happen, right? But figuring out how we take the results of past tests, put them into these new things, these new plans for launching, and make all of these things work so we can get certified to launch, that's huge.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with the focus on launch timing and the hiccup with the nozzle, but the challenge, I think, turning that certification process into more than just an endless game of let's go find that file for certification. It's making sure every requirement and last minute change is accurately captured, verified, and traced without anything slipping through the cracks. I mean, that nozzle mishap, that's a perfect reminder that even one wayward part can send the entire process spiraling back down to a drawing board.
When that goes back to your whole Apollo 13 reference earlier, because one minor thing can have huge cascades of problems down the road.
Yeah.
During the certification process, they had to look back at requirements and verify they met them while noting any changes that have occurred. And then the approval process itself is hugely requirements based, which is why that's the main area I think you got to focus on, is just getting everything certified, getting your requirements checked off.
Yeah. The ULA's competitive edge has to hinge on making that certification process not just efficient, but 100% bulletproof. That's going to require requirements traceability, so that every design change, every test result and adjustment is clearly documented and linked up. Real-time updates are going to make sure that any issues like an unexpected nozzle detachment are flagged and resolved before they become bigger problems. So when the national security gets involved in this whole thing, there can be zero tolerance for oversight.
Yeah, you've got to have your requirements traceability just nailed down.
Yep. Requirements trace, you got it. And I bring in your AI to automate your traceability checks, flag any deviations or unlinked changes in real time so that potential issues are caught there and then and corrected immediately.
Right.